Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Let's go back for a second because I think this is really important because people will, and I used to be this way too. I'd hear stories like this. I go, oh, well, you know what? You just know something I don't know. But what was happening? What was the catalyst? You said, you looked at your life. There must have been a moment, right? Where did this shift come from?
Well, there were several moments. Um, I mean, the first one was when I finally did talk about being raped. And the way I did that was I was in a sort of friends with benefits relationship. I literally had zero normal relationships after I was raped. I mean, honestly, probably maybe to this day, I've been married twice. I mean, like, I just, I so hated myself and thought that I was only worthy of sex. So there wasn't that normal dating kind of relationship. So this friends with benefits relationship that happened in law school, which was 6 years later, was the first kind of ish, normal-ish relationship that I had had. And I started to have feelings for this guy and started acting weird. And he's kind of like, "What is with you?" And I sat down at my computer and I wrote the story of my rape. And that was the first time in 6 years that I told the story. And what I loved about writing it, and I think this is important for people to understand, is that a lot of times when we share our stories, people have their own filters and judgments that they immediately put on your story. And so then you feel like you have to shape shift your story, like, because they'll say, what really wasn't that bad, or maybe you should have done something different. The beauty of writing it and sharing it is there was no audience there, no one passing judgment, no one telling me to share the story differently or highlight a different part. It was my truth. And when I shared it with him, he expressed empathy and kindness towards me. And this was the first time that it happened in relation to that rape until 6 years later. But that the way he responded to it, and this is such, I think this is more of a woman thing than a man thing. Women, we always feel like we need permission. I felt like I needed permission in a way to forgive myself. There was no forgiving myself. I didn't do anything wrong, but to maybe stop experiencing the shame so much, be more loving and kind to myself and own that part of my story. And once he was so accepting and loving towards me about that, it gave me that permission to kind of start taking the steps to healing from that. And for me, that meant a lot of therapy. So, and then as far as um, other times that were really pivotal in my life, another one would be after I was divorced the second time. And that is when I had a friend who said to me, you probably don't want to hear this right now, but with adversity comes opportunity. And I mean, I was on the floor of my closet crying. And it just, those words stayed with me. And I just kept thinking about that. And I started to suddenly shift from thinking about all that I had lost and given up and what was gone to the fact that I actually had a blank slate and I could start fresh. How many times in life do you get that opportunity? It's very rare. I was like, wow, my parents are so like pissed off at me at this point. I'm now twice divorced. I can be whoever I want. I can finally step away from that mold, that image of me that they had. It was never a correct image. I can finally be who I really am. I can buy my own house. I can decorate it the way I want. I can create the life I want to lead. I can stop worrying about pleasing other people. Now, I say that it took me many more years to get there as far as the worrying about pleasing other people sort of thing. But that was such a pivotal moment because when that shift happened with me, it it also really stuck in my brain that anytime adversity happens, well, we have to honor that moment and grieve the loss and feel the pain and don't minimize that. It's so important that you deal with it head on. But if you always have that glimmer of hope that you're focused on, kind of, okay, something somehow is good is going to come out of this. And that is transformative.